Are you willing to be vulnerable? Are you ready to be a vulnerable and authentic leader? I have a great story about vulnerability and the power of it in leadership. In 2008, I was promoted vice president for the first time. I was promoted vice president of a struggling business unit in a large aerospace company. And when I came home that night, I was obviously happy to have reached my dream of, what I'd worked for so long to achieve. But I was also worried. I was telling myself, how am I going to survive this assignment? You see, this business unit was losing $50 million a year and had lost $250 million in the course of its history over 12 years. And not only that, the 9 VPs that managed the business unit before me, except the boss that promoted me into that job, had been let go, were asked to leave the company. So you can see that, there was a lot of pressure on me. And the first year in my assignment, I certainly felt the pressure. There was a lot of pressure to perform. We're delivering products up to 6 months late. Customers were not happy. The bosses were not happy. My family was not happy because I was never there. And one day, something special happened. We were doing a retreat with all my directors. There was 12 of us. And we're doing a check-in, just everybody sharing how they were doing. And when it got to me, I couldn't stop crying. See, there was something dramatic that happened the day before. My son had failed his math exam. My son was in 3rd grade. And because he was going to French school, I'm the one who was doing the homework with him. And what I taught that day, what came out, is the tremendous pressure that I was under. And what came out of me is that I can't even help my son to pass his math exam, so I must be a complete failure. Because, everything else in my life was a failure. I was not meeting my own standards of performance, and I was not meeting my boss's expectations of me. What happened that day in our meeting was very special. All the directors that were working for me, they knew that I was under this tremendous pressure. And what they told me is that they were so happy that I was now stopping to protect them from this pressure. And that together, the 12 of us, we could carry all the pressure and we could unite and become more intimate as a team, and we could turn it around. And a year later, we succeeded to go from 50 million to plus 50 million profit. Our employee engagement went through the roof, from 65% to 78%. Our customer satisfaction increased significantly because we went from delivering our products 15% on time to almost 85%. So you could see that vulnerability, which is not something that I planned that morning when I got up. Nobody writes in a leadership book, after 1 year in your retreat, you're going to share, you're going to start crying. But I tell you what, this vulnerability that I showed, which was very human, allowed me to be human. And people want to follow a human leader. And there are so many stories about great leadership, about leaders rising to their full occasion, their full potential, because they allowed themselves to be authentic and vulnerable. So my advice to you today is to embrace your vulnerability and to show who you really are at work, and I guarantee you will achieve greatness. On this note, I wish you an amazing day, and I send you all my love.